episode of Dr. Mumbi's Spiritual Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. We really want to thank our Patreon supporters and anyone who sends us a love donation that enables us to continue to make this show a priority and spread the Wake Up Africa news to our people at such a critical juncture. We appreciate you guys so much. And thanks to everyone who has subscribed to the channel, who leaves their comments, etc., etc. There's a lot of games that are going on with YouTube, with the platform, etc., etc. But family, all you need to know is that we as an awakening community, we as an awakening YouTubers are reaching millions and millions of people across the melanated world, and one day the real numbers will come out. So make sure you're liking, make sure you're commenting where you can, and make sure you're sharing. But at least make sure you're liking so that we can start to, counter some of these algorithmic situations, family. But those are stories for other days. Thanks to everyone that has responded to the Unity communities. We've received over 200 requests so far from everywhere, all over Africa, all over the divided states, Canada, Caribbean, St. Thomas, Jamaica, Rwanda, Ghana, Kenya. I could name so many, so there's a lot of interest. I'm going to wait till we reach about a dozen people before I start, connecting people and then it will be about taking those individual journeys and kind of, aligning. Please check out the video I did on how it would take less than 10,000 chosen ones, highly awakened ones, gods, messiahs, however you want to put it. It would take less than 10,000 to change the entire world. And if we're only talking of Africa, then we need less than 5,000. And if that's what it takes, with all of us that have done our work, we could really come together and start doing some amazing things. But those are stories for other days. Family, we are in the great season of the global resets. I talked about how there's two global resets going on right now. There's the major one, which is nature. Nature is resetting herself. She's purging all the toxins. She's shifting herself. And then the New World Order agenda is trying to mimic this, reset, the global reset, and kind of make it their own, because they need to make a new world literally to live in, because the one that they have created is being destroyed naturally by nature. So they have no say in that. They can't be like, oh, leave my house, oh, do this. No, I mean, the floods are coming through, the heat waves are coming through, the droughts are coming through. Like, pay attention to the signs, for real, family. But with all this global reset vibe going on, it's time for you to do a global reset in your own life. And you have the opportunity to do that. So many of us have wanted that clean slate where we could write a new narrative for us, where we could push aside fear and actually pursue those dreams, those gifts, the main destiny that we were too shy, too broken, too confused, too distracted to pursue in the past. Some of us may feel like we've run out of time. But you know what? This is that clean slate moment, family, where you can reset your life. And I keep talking about the deepness. That's the only way I can put it. The depth of this moment, that we have died to our old selves and been born again while still in these bodies. Usually we'd have closed out that book of life, gone, reevaluated, kind of scripted everything out, and then come back. But now we had to make this transition within this body and become this new and do the reset. Usually the reset includes death and rebirth. But we've had to do that death and rebirth while still anchoring these physical bodies, because so much was being done to change the energetic frequency of the world and kind of limit certain help and assistance in human form from coming into the population. And so a lot of us had to come like thieves in the night, family, literally, and have been hidden for so long in plain sight, where they could tell we were shining ones, but they didn't know exactly what that meant. They didn't know exactly our capability. And that's another thing we need to do, family. Every description that you were given of who you are, what you're capable of as a chosen one, what you're capable of as a seer or as a healer or as a prophet, put all of that aside, because that was in that world. You are so much larger than that. The gifts are so much more expansive. There is no limit to how high you can go. We have entered the age of the superhuman. That's why a lot of us chose to come back. Because we came, because in this season, so much would be activated in this transition, which is a living transition, that we would have the opportunity to become the Supermans and the Superwomans, like so activated with multiple books of lives. But that's a whole other story. But family, you can reset your life. And I highly suggest that you take the time to do that in this season. And it starts with, it doesn't require any money, it doesn't require any resources, it just requires your energy to first kind of start to remap your life mentally, because you're a whole new person. Many of us had already changed so much, and then with the last 2 years of lockdown and all this stuff, that kind of like just quantum leaped our transformation and our transition. So now is the time to say, to look back at some of those dreams that you were so passionate about when you were a child. I talked about in another episode how when I was 16, I wrote this book called Your Own Universe, You. But I didn't have even people who understood it around me, about how this entire world is about you, about how you birth your reality from within you. When I was speaking about that, it was just too alien to those who were quote unquote nearest and dearest to me. But that's something I should probably revisit and probably release, because it's perfect for such a time as this. And I share this to just make you kind of look into your own life. What dreams or gifts or activities or even hobbies, as they like to call it, what were you kind of into back in the day that you had to painfully leave or painfully abandon because some handler in your life told you couldn't, you shouldn't, and you wouldn't? What were you super gifted at naturally as a child that you had to let go of because your parents believed that you had to become a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, and that was never your passion? You see, everything is changing in how those things are conducted in the 7 pillars of how governments will be done. There's a new governing of the mental that's coming in, if I can put it like that. Healing, there's new ways that people will heal. There's new healers that are emerging. And you see, you have all that information within you. And you have a team of, supernatural spiritual beings beside you that will help you re-educate. Hey! There's a monkey eating my hibiscus flower behind me. Really? That will help you re-educate and kind of re-evaluate your life, family. Just as there's a global reset, we should definitely be looking for our own individual reset. Resetting all those painful memories, transforming them. All those adjectives that we were given, you're like this, you're like that, you're this, you're that. That's not who we are anymore. So that doesn't even fit. Hey, what are you doing? I don't know if you just saw the monkey there. Like, seriously? female monkeys, you know, because I'm sitting like where all the hibiscus flowers are. Mom. Anyway, family. You know, whatever is always happening on the global level, we can always take advantage of it on our own individual level and kind of use the energies of that time to create supersonic movements in our life. So right now, the whole vibe of the world is this reset, the global reset, the nature reset. Everyone is resetting, and you can too in your own life. Take the time, family, to create a new vision board for yourself, to create, you know, a new narrative for real. Take that narrative thing seriously. The world is your oyster, man. Everything is open to you. You can move, you can relocate, because there's one key secret that a wizard, a very dark wizard, revealed to me, but it was like one of the major keys that he gave me, where he told me about how when your spirit goes somewhere, eventually your body must follow. And he was kind of teaching me that magic of how you can send someone's spirit to jail or something like that. And eventually, within 3 months, you'd see them getting arrested and locked up. And this is kind of the dark magic that has been used against our people for a while. Stories that I can't even get onto here. But when you take your spirit to a new world, to a new narrative, and anchor that new narrative, your body must follow. Because your body is not the one running this whole thing. It's your mind. You get the world that you think about the most, family. Remember that. Tuko pamoja. Looking for a conscious community, or for people, you know, who are on their awakening journey, on their transition to an off-grid living in your country, well, we have the solution, family. We're calling it Unity Communities. We get so many emails every week from people who ask if I know of people in their region or people in their city or people in their town who are on a similar kind of journey, who have broken away or are breaking away from the religious psychosis, and they're looking for just people who think the same way in their town, in their city. But more importantly, to give us a community where we feel understood, understood, overstood, where we can bond with people of like mind. And if you feel called to be part of this, definitely email me at drmumbi at drmumbishow.com. Please put your country in the subject line with Unity Communities. Get in touch with me, drmumbi at drmumbishow.com. Unity Communities.